I don't ask Kristy to take her and do everything. Kristy is there in case I need her, but for the most part, I'm rocking it, and I as they say, I'm just doing the damn thing. Like I've got my big girl panties on. I'm a mom now, and I'm taking my responsibilities seriously. But nobody sees that stuff. So
Buckle up, because today we're diving into the roller coaster journey of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's path to motherhood. A story that sparked endless conversations, emotions, and yes, a fair share of controversy. From the moment news broke about her pregnancy to the birth of her daughter Aurora, Gypsy's narrative has been a whirlwind of public scrutiny, emotional highs, and puzzling questions. But here's where it gets intriguing. As we unravel her story, using her own words from a recent de facto interview online, we'll explore the triumphs, the tears, and the challenges she's faced in her new role as a mom. And of course, we're tackling the big question: how much of Gypsy's story holds up under closer examination? From potential inconsistencies to rumors regarding her relationship with Kristy and Ken, we're leaving no stone unturned.
and like we kept going back and forth because there was a little bit of miscommunication between him and I after she was born. If we were able to keep it hush hush, not because I wanted to hide anything, but I was like, I want us to actually be happy in this moment and not have to worry about Nina said this or conspiracy said that, or Ivory Rose Grows Wild said that in this rumor.
Y'all
We
wanted
wanted
time
to
for
have
that. Just y'all.
peace. Yes, we wanted to have a moment to actually be normal ass people and be happy in the moment at the birth of our child.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if to have a few days of just calm peace with nothing being said was the goal. And then he was like, I'm so excited. I would really like to announce.
The internet can't stop dissecting her recent claims about how she prepared for her journey into parenthood. When Gypsy said, "I have all the books, like the What to Expect When You're Expecting book. I read that throughout my pregnancy, and then I have the What to Expect in Your First Year." But here's the kicker. Fans are questioning how genuine this preparation was. To make things even more interesting, Gypsy mentioned that her partner, Ken, has his own set of parenting books too. On the surface, it paints a picture of two devoted, soon-to-be parents doing their homework. But skeptics online have been quick to suggest otherwise, with some wondering if this was less about genuine readiness and more about maintaining a carefully curated public image. The debate taps into a bigger conversation about how celebrities often portray perfection in their personal lives. Is this just another example of an influencer-level parenting narrative meant to keep fans engaged? Or is Gypsy really just that committed to being the best mom she can be?
It's like my algorithm is all baby stuff now.
That's awesome.
I reposted this one video that is so relatable, and it's when the transfer from arm to bassinet, and like you hold your breath hoping that it'll go a smooth transition and you'll stay asleep. I was like, this is super real.
That's so funny. I'm so glad that you within the algorithm though.
Yeah, it's like all baby videos because Google has been my best friend. Like I have all the books. I have like the What to Expect When You're Expecting. I read that throughout my pregnancy, and then I have the What to Expect in the First Year. And Ken has his set of books as well. So it's like we're reading the books, and then if we don't know something, like we'll Google it and things like that.
Parenting experts argue that simply owning or skimming through books doesn't mean much if the lessons aren't internalized. They stress that consistent application and emotional readiness are the real keys to being a prepared parent. So, is Gypsy genuinely preparing for her baby, or is she trying to project an image of competence? Some suggest that her emphasis on books may serve another purpose, seeking external validation. By highlighting her efforts, Gypsy might be attempting to counter the public's doubts. But let's be real, reading isn't the same as doing. Did she truly absorb these lessons, or is this more about appearances? Adding to the mix is her claim, if we don't know something, we'll Google it. While seeking information online is common, it's not always reliable unless cross-referenced with credible sources. Over-relying on quick internet fixes without professional guidance could lead to misinformation. Hardly a reassuring approach for a parent to be. Still, Gypsy did reveal one promising step. We even started therapy to make sure we're doing what's best for us and the baby. This proactive move suggests she's taking her role seriously, But the question remains, are these actions enough to prove she's ready for this life-altering chapter? Or is it all just a carefully crafted narrative?
Like y'all went to, y'all started therapy and doing that for y'all and for the baby, and then getting that little binder that you put together, preparing yourself for that. If it ever that was to happen. The books, the fact that, and I love that Ken is so supportive, and Ken is
He's
one of the
been
most
so
amazing men I've ever met.
wonderful. He's been so wonderful and supportive. Like I really am just blown back. And that just makes me more in love with him, is to like see him with her and how he plays with her and holds her and comforts her. And, I've never seen this side of him. And so it's really like, it touches my heart just to kind of see that side to him that is, a parent now.
Gypsy's statement about attending therapy before becoming a mother initially seemed like a commendable move. But here's the twist. Questions are swirling about whether these sessions were truly consistent and targeted at addressing deeper emotional and behavioral issues from her past. With her tumultuous history, fans and critics alike are asking, did these sessions dive into the real traumas that could shape her parenting style, or were they just a cosmetic fix to bolster her public narrative? And then there's her delivery room story. Gypsy described the experience as calm and controlled, sharing, "I went in at 6 centimeters dilated and then they gave me the epidural. 4 hours later, I was still at 6 centimeters, so they gave me Pitocin to speed things up a little." On the surface, it sounds like a straightforward birth story, but the meticulous way she frames it feeds into the narrative of her maintaining composure in every situation. So, is this a case of a woman in control or someone trying too hard to seem like she is? With her past struggles and her carefully curated stories, the cracks in Gypsy's narrative may hint at deeper challenges ahead.
I went in at 6 centimeters dilated, and then they gave me the epidural, and then they put the catheter in because they're like, you're not going to be able to have control over your bladder. So they put the catheter in, and they did all that after the epidural. So I didn't feel none of that. 4 hours later, I was still only 6 centimeters. So they had given me Pitocin to kind of speed things up a little bit.
Right.
And then I took like a 2-hour nap. And then I wake up from my 2-hour nap. They check my cervix. I'm 10 centimeters dilated. And they're like, okay, my doctor's like, it's time to push. And I'm like, my eyes got so big. Kristy can't even tell you that my eyes got so big because I'm like, oh my God, here it comes.
Gypsy's birth story has left people scratching their heads. She described her labor as a breeze, despite delivering at just 36 weeks and 3 days, classified as preterm by medical standards. Typically, preterm deliveries are fraught with challenges like stalled labor, underdeveloped fetal lungs, and a higher risk of complications requiring medical intervention. But Gypsy's narrative skips over these hurdles entirely. According to her, the process unfolded almost like a dream. "I took a 2-hour nap after they gave me the epidural. When I woke up, they checked my cervix and I was 10 centimeters dilated. My doctor was like, 'It's time to push.' And my eyes got so big," she shared. The story paints a picture of a smooth, straightforward progression. Almost too smooth. Her praise of the epidural added to the intrigue. "I'm so blessed to have had the best experience I did. I didn't feel a thing. The epidural worked absolute wonders," she gushed. But was it really as picture-perfect as she claims? Given the risks of preterm labor, one has to wonder if Gypsy is leaving out some less glamorous details to present a more polished narrative. Was her labor truly this seamless? Or is there more to the story? Fans can't help but question whether Gypsy's experience defied the odds, or if she's simply glossing over the messy realities of childbirth. What do you think?
I am so blessed to have the birth experience that I did, because I did not feel a thing. The epidural worked absolutely like wonders. And, you watch movies where, the women are screaming and it's like, push and all that stuff. That was not my experience.
Well, I knew you had to press that button again, because when you had first told me you got it, I was like, you had a long ways before she came.
Motherhood is no cakewalk, but when a celebrity shares their birth story, the narrative often becomes a mix of inspiration and speculation. Gypsy's experience with the arrival of her preterm baby, Aurora, is a story most would consider heartwarming, but some details, or lack thereof, have left fans raising eyebrows. Could this carefully curated tale be designed to boost her image, or is there more beneath the surface? Let's unpack the layers. Epidurals can be a game changer for pain relief during childbirth, but they often come with side effects like slowed labor and reduced pushing efficiency. These complications sometimes require additional interventions like forceps or even a C-section. Strangely, Gypsy omitted these possibilities when sharing her story. Was this an innocent oversight? Or an attempt to simplify the narrative for her audience? Psychologically, Gypsy's portrayal of a seemingly flawless birth could serve a dual purpose. By depicting herself as untroubled and capable, she might be aiming to elicit admiration and sympathy. Such a narrative distances her from the harsher realities many mothers face, particularly with preterm deliveries. It also reinforces her public image as resilient and thriving, even in the face of potential challenges. But the gaps in her story are hard to ignore. Preterm babies often require extra care, including time in the NICU and close developmental monitoring. Gypsy's decision to leave out such details raises questions. Was she simplifying her story to make it more digestible, or keeping some struggles private? Either way, this selective transparency complicates her credibility and leaves fans wondering how much of her narrative is designed for public sympathy versus reflecting actual events. Even after baby Aurora's arrival, Gypsy admitted that motherhood hasn't been easy. "I'm running on 4 hours of sleep," she shared. "I sleep when she sleeps, but it's still a challenge." While relatable, this comment only scratches the surface of the complexities many mothers face. Gypsy's story may be inspiring, but its omissions highlight the tension between authenticity and maintaining a polished public image.
It was at 1:30 in the morning, so I mean, it's not like people were staking out or anything. So
good job, Aurora. I was like, I got you, Mom. Go late at night?
Yeah, it was late at night, and it was very unexpected. So I mean, I doubt anybody was, lurking around the hospital at 1:30 in the mornings.
I know, it worked out perfectly.
That would be creepy. But we're doing good. Yeah, I saw a couple of videos that are circulating around that there's this rumor that Kristy is taking care of Aurora, which is completely untrue. I'm watching these videos, having 4 hours of sleep, getting up every 2 hours to feed her, change her. Like, I do everything, with the exception of Ken helping, of course. Like, we take shifts, and like, if I change her, Ken will feed her. We're doing the best we can as parents, and we're doing pretty good.
Being a new parent is no joke, and Gypsy's claims of managing it all without missing a beat have everyone talking. Chronic sleep deprivation is no stranger to parents, but experts agree that it takes a toll. Studies show it can impair decision-making, emotional regulation, and even mental health. So how does she make it seem effortless? Her routine involves teamwork with her partner, Ken. Aurora wakes up every hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours at night. Ken and I take shifts. If I feed her, Ken changes her, and vice versa. While this might paint a picture of balance, the physical and mental toll of such a demanding schedule is undeniable. And even with shared responsibilities, research shows that a lack of extended family support or professional help can push parents to the brink of burnout. This begs the question, is it possible she's downplaying the involvement of additional help to maintain an image of self-reliance? It wouldn't be the first time a public figure has curated their narrative for appearances. Adding a relatable touch, she admitted, "I came across a video about transferring a baby from your arms to the bassinet without waking them up. It's so relatable." But even with relatable moments, the pressure to uphold an idealized version of parenthood can be intense. As relatable as her story seems, it's worth asking, are societal expectations forcing parents, especially those in the spotlight, to conceal the full picture of their support systems? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Right. I came across a lot of videos, like my algorithm is all baby stuff now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I reposted this one video that is so relatable. And it's with the transfer from arm to bassinet, and like you hold your breath hoping that it'll go a smooth transition and they'll stay asleep. I was like, this is super real.
While her lighthearted anecdotes about parenting might seem relatable and endearing, they also raise questions. Could these stories be a clever way to deflect attention from more pressing concerns? For instance, focusing on minor parenting struggles might obscure critical gaps in addressing Aurora's developmental needs or other essential aspects of caregiving. Interestingly, Gypsy's account noticeably omits the real challenges of raising a preterm baby. Feeding complications, developmental delays, and medical monitoring are nowhere to be found. Is this an attempt to simplify her story for public consumption, or could it signal a reluctance to acknowledge struggles that might contradict her carefully crafted image of capability? This selective transparency deepens the intrigue around her caregiving approach, creating a potential disconnect between the reality of her journey and the narrative she presents to the world. Adding to the conversation is her firm stance on privacy. Gypsy has openly stated, "I have chosen not to post pictures of her, even on my private Facebook." While this decision may seem protective, it has sparked debates about whether it aligns with or contradicts her public sharing of other parenting experiences.
I think we could both come to an agreement on to where it's still protecting her, but you can still have your moment to where you can announce as a proud father. And so once we had an understanding about that, then he posted the picture. Me, on the other hand, I'm still not gonna post a picture. I don't even post pictures on my private Facebook. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't either, because you just never know. And I think that you're doing what is right.
Gypsy's struggle with balancing privacy and public attention is becoming increasingly complicated. She's painting herself as an independent, hands-on mom, but is she really the self-reliant figure she's trying to project? She's quick to speak out about her daughter Aurora and shape the story of her own life. But doesn't that undercut her claim to want privacy? In fact, her willingness to engage in these public discussions and selectively share details about her life seems to conflict with her so-called priority of keeping things private. Could this so-called privacy be a tactic to avoid criticism while staying in the public's good graces? It's a question worth asking. Gypsy has recently responded to rumors about her parenting, saying that she and Ken are handling everything themselves. "I do everything for her with Ken's help, of course. Kristy is there if I need her," Gypsy said. On the surface, this claim seems ambitious, but it invites skepticism. Anyone who's been a new parent knows it takes a village, and Gypsy's story feels a bit like a one-woman show. Research on new parents consistently emphasizes the importance of a robust support system to prevent burnout and ensure the baby's well-being. So, is Gypsy's insistence on handling everything herself truly realistic? Is she overstating her role to gain sympathy and admiration, or is this a carefully constructed narrative of self-reliance? Her refusal to acknowledge any major external help, aside from vague references to Kristy being available, raises doubts. Could she be omitting key details to craft an image that aligns with her need for public validation? While Gypsy's emotional connection to Aurora is evident in her words, "I am rocking it. I've got my baby panties on. I'm a mama now." There's still the lingering question. Is this about genuine pride, or is it another attempt to shape how the world sees her? In the end, Gypsy's carefully crafted image might not be as transparent as she'd like us to believe. Is this a mother's truth, or a carefully orchestrated story for public approval?
I don't ask Kristy to take her and do everything. Kristy is there in case I need her, but for the most part, I'm rocking it, and as they say, I'm just doing the damn thing. Like, I've got my big girl panties on. I'm a mom now, and I'm taking my responsibilities seriously. But nobody sees that stuff. So
Reflecting on her daughter Aurora's father, Ken, she described his relationship with Aurora, saying, "It touches my heart to see him play with her." Sounds sweet, right? But there's a twist. The overly idealized language. Could it be an attempt to distract from something darker lurking beneath the surface? Could this picture-perfect portrayal of their family dynamic be masking tension? Experts in family psychology often point out that idealized portrayals can sometimes indicate cracks in the foundation, leaving us questioning just how much of this narrative is crafted for public consumption. Gypsy's words are often carefully chosen, aligning with society's expectations of motherhood: responsible, loving, nurturing. But is it all too polished? Is this an intentional move to win sympathy, to reshape a past marked by controversy and scrutiny? With every mention of her transformation into the perfect mom, we start to wonder, is she rewriting her own story, or is she spinning a narrative we're all too eager to buy into? Despite her insistence on keeping her personal life private, especially with Aurora, there's a curious contradiction in her choices. Gypsy once claimed that she didn't want to sell the announcement to the media. Yet here she is, granting interviews and sharing moments with TMZ. Could this be her way of controlling the narrative while still staying in the spotlight? And what about the first photo of Aurora? Gypsy described it as a compromise, where both she and Ken could share the moment without compromising their daughter's privacy. But is this really just the beginning of using Aurora as the ultimate bargaining chip in the ongoing quest for relevance? Gypsy Rose Blanchard's journey into motherhood is as complicated as her past. From her detailed preparation to the way she shields Aurora from the public eye, we're presented with a powerful narrative of love and resilience. But don't be fooled. There are contradictions everywhere. Her story leaves us with more questions than answers.
Yo, guess what? Hi, if you're new here, I'm Ivy Rose, and this is my page, Ivy Rose Grows Bios. I got some Gypsy on the bio for y'all. Now, this is for the Gypsy. But you want to tell me why Krusty's on this bayou telling everybody how she's taking care of your baby? Because she's telling her friends that. Now, I know you're probably not going to believe me, Miss Jippy Jip, but listen, you don't have to. But at least I know I'm putting it out there, okay? Because Miss, your stepmommy's out here telling everybody how she's taking care of your baby at night because you're not. So you might want to put her in check. I mean, don't don't do that. Don't put her in that kind of check. Just let her know what's up. Because if you heard the shit that she's been saying, there ain't no way you would be at her fucking house. You probably would have never left Ryan. I'm telling you. Now, I have to say this in all my videos, okay? But everything I'm saying is alleged for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes only. These are my thoughts and my opinions. But all jokes aside, she really is telling people how she's taking care of your baby. And I know you only just had her, not that long ago. But it's just going to get worse.
Now, let's talk about Gypsy's recent social media post. She made it crystal clear that filing a false CPS report is a crime. While she didn't name names, it seems like a preemptive move against any shady actions. But here's the twist. Some people are wondering why she'd post this in the first place. Is it a warning, or is she baiting the drama? Gypsy's past makes her a polarizing figure, and fans can't help but raise an eyebrow at her intentions. And just when you think the plot couldn't thicken anymore, let's consider Kristy's role. Could she be behind a potential CPS call? If the rumors are true, she might just be orchestrating her next move. Meanwhile, where's Gypsy's husband, Kenny? Shouldn't he be stepping up as the dad in all this? Some speculate he's too checked out to notice what's going on, leaving Kristy to take charge. All right, y'all, the wait is over. The second and final season of Life After Lockup is premiering on March 10th on Lifetime, and you know it's about to bring all the drama. But let's be honest. What kind of stories are Lifetime and Gypsy Rose going to be spinning this time? Because if there's one thing we can count on, it's the drama being just as wild as it is questionable.
Lifetime just shared our first look at season 2 of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup, and it definitely looks like they're going to be touching on the paternity situation.
So, in the state of Louisiana, the law states that if a child is conceived within a marriage, the husband is the presumed father of that child.
I wish that she had gotten through this divorce process before this happened.
I'm labeled a loose woman, a hoe. I've already seen comments online of people saying that it should have been a condition of my parole to get my tubes tied. The test is less for the public and more for Ryan to say, hey, dude, you're not the father. Accept it and move on.
So he blamed her for getting knocked up. Not him taking his thing out of his pants and doing his thing. It's just her. It's her responsibility. He wished she would have waited. It didn't take two to tango. Crazy. She should have been mandated to have her tubes tied. Anybody that can unalive their own mom, if you trust them with his kid, then... But anyway, I hope that baby have the life it deserves, and Gypsy have the life it deserves. And Ken is clearly... His mom did a fine job, didn't she? He doesn't even take accountability at his big age for sleeping with a married woman. You're a homewrecker, and she is a fast one. The fact that neither one of them could take accountability for their actions, this is gonna be interesting to say the least, child.
I'm already gearing up to watch because I need to see what's real and what's just Lifetime doing what Lifetime does best: over-the-top storytelling. And don't worry, I've got you covered with all my thoughts, opinions, and of course a breakdown of the messiest moments. We're talking drama, twists, and maybe even a few did they really go there moments. So, if you're ready to dive into the chaos with me, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss my post-show recap. It's going to be juicy, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second. See you soon, besties!